The Sustainable for All project is a collaboration between Forth Valley Sensory Centre and Forth Environment Link, funded by the Scottish Government's Climate Engagement Fund. In this short video, volunteer gardener Jean tells us what it takes to run a kitchen garden.
What interested you in kitchen gardening?
I've always been interested in gardening, but over the years there was so many scares. Like I'm getting on a bit now, but we had BSC, we had Edwina Curry with our chickens and salmonella. Recently, we've got ultra processed fruits and the damage that they're doing to ourselves. And just going along, I decided that I would grow my own. I became interested in vegetable growing, and I've got an allotment. Over the years, I've learnt from some really good growers, although I'm an amateur myself. And I eventually, through Forth Environment Link Garden Buddy Scheme, I ended up here, trying to get the gardens established again.
And how do you think kitchen gardening contributes to sustainability?
Uh, well, you've no food miles. You've got your carbon capture. If you've got fruit trees, they help with climate change, the oxygen and the carbon dioxide exchange. There's the cost implications, there's the health benefits. So what's there not to like?
What sustainable practices do you incorporate in the garden here at the Sensory Centre?
We grow as much as we can organically. We use the waste, the food waste from the centre. We've got a hot compost bin, so that, and we can put cooked food and all the other scraps in it, so that gets reused, all the waste, so it's not going to landfill. We can use the cardboard, that doesn't go to landfill either. We can use it on our beds. We try to grow perennial vegetables. Our water comes from water butts that are sourced around here. We apply the organic principles, so we don't use any chemicals, no glyphosates. We encourage wildlife, and we reuse, repurpose. We grow heritage seeds, so we keep our own seeds. We reuse practically everything that we can find. A lot gets donated. Our equipment comes from the man sheds, so it's not new. We maybe have to buy in occasionally the odd bit of topsoil, and we grow our own plant foods. We grow comfrey and nettles here, which encourages wildlife, pollinators, and the bonus that it's rich in plant nutrients. So it's like dust to dust, everything, it's a complete cycle. Our hot compost bin, it needs a supply of wood chips, wood shavings, and we're very friendly with one of our local wood turners, Graham Gow, who gives us all these wood shavings. There's no varnishes included, so that closes his sustainably cycle, and it helps us because we don't have the cost of having to buy in wood pellets and things like that. We reuse, repurpose our teacups from the cafe. We use as pots, they're waterproof. Labels, our plant labels are plastic, and they're from the plastic containers, milk cartons, things like that. So they're not going to landfill until they're ready to disintegrate. So we've got our labels, we've got our plant food. we use Remen rock dust. We buy that in. It's a volcanic dust which remineralizes. We really look after our soil because your soil is the prime thing. We have a small greenhouse, so in summer we've got tomatoes, cucumbers, chilies, things like that. And in winter we overwinter things. That's the wee bit over there that's cozied up just now in fleece. We use nets. We use, because we're wildlife friendly, we don't really have a problem with most pests, and we only net when we really need to, at a time when we need to. Climate change, that's on top of us. So if we select and save our seeds, that we're sort of genetically modifying the food to our growing conditions here. So we only pick the best. So that's seed that we keep. And this is like our year 2, so we're a work in progress. There's things that are on our wish list, like green roofs, sedum roofs. We've got a wee wildlife pond. We try to cater for the cafe as much as we can. We have surpluses. We sell our surplus if they can't freeze it in the cafe for later on. So that helps to boost the funds for the centre. We've got other gardens here, so we use this area to bring on plants for the other gardens, like the sensory garden. There's the orchard. There's a pollinator area, and hopefully soon there'll be a seated area that's outside that'll be open to the community all the time. And so we'll need to repurpose plants for that and make it a nice area. So there's more involved than just the kitchen garden, but the kitchen garden's like the generator, the engine room. This is the compost. This is the where we get our water. Kitchens need a lot of water. The plants need a lot of water, whereas flowers outside, they need, you can have them in the ground. Some of them like it dry anyway. So it's trial and error sometimes, but we're trying to be as sustainable as we can, and so that we're an asset to the centre and not just another wee group.
Any challenges you've found?
I've been awful lucky here because the garden was already set up. The paths are wide enough. It's been made accessible. Although you wouldn't, it's a bit of a mess just now, but it is accessible. The raised beds were already in, and so were some of the plants. So it was just getting them back under control again and rejuvenating the beds. The beds had emptied because the level was down, and there was loads and loads of bags of leaves and what we would call horizons round about. So we had to get rid of that, get the composter up and running. But I was lucky that the layout, the planning had already been done. The composter was already here. Our bays for our leaf mould were already here. The only thing was the addition of water butts. We don't have electricity here on this area, but we have access to it. But we find that batteries suit most of our gardeners better because they didn't have the worry of the cables. And as I say, we buy very few of our tools first hand. Some things needed to be replaced, like a shredder, and we couldn't get that from a man shed, so we had to buy it. Things like that. So, and the challenge was meeting what we're growing to what the kitchen use.
Thanks, Jean. Any advice for someone setting up a kitchen garden?
It needs water, it needs compost. Do your planning, go with the kitchen. If you're growing for the kitchen, what does the kitchen use? There's no use growing bright lights chard if nobody eats it. There's no use. Here, the cafe doesn't do a lot of main courses. They don't sell a lot of main courses. They mostly sell things like toasties, like rolls and sausage and things like that we can't grow here. But we can grow the salads that go on the side. They always do soup, so we can grow the vegetables for soup. We don't do carrots of course, because it takes a long time to grow a carrot and it takes up a bit of area. We maybe do for fun some coloured carrots for Christmas or things like that. But mainstay, it's cheaper for them to buy their carrots out of Aldi's along the road than it is for us to provide them here. So it's like meat, you've got to grow for your kitchen. So there's no point in growing. We grow a lot of things here, like the berries, the strawberries, the gooseberries, the tayberries, loganberries, because they're expensive to buy in a shop and they can use them in smoothies, but they can't use in smoothies. We can make jams, jellies, chutneys, whatever out of it. They use a lot of onions, they use a lot of salad things. They use leeks. Potatoes are sometimes cheaper to buy, but if it's a delicacy for a main course, we'll do a nice potato for them or something like that. And then our surplus, if the kitchen can't use it, we can sell it and we can use it as a fundraiser. So it goes back into the garden for things that we need. So the first couple of years, we're still getting up and running financially. We still take grants, we still take, we go for every freebie under the sun. If you were starting a garden from scratch, look at all your free sites, look at your kitchen, who you're growing for, look at your gardeners, who are they. I would make it as accessible as possible right from the start. When you see an allotment plot, they've got narrow paths, and really if that's designed for that person and they want the maximum growing space, if you're designing a kitchen garden that's got to be used by a lot of people, say it's children, or you'll need a wheelbarrow, you'll need a space for a big wheelbarrow. If you can't get a big wheelbarrow up a path, you're not going to get a double buggy, you're not going to get a wheelchair, you're not going to get a Zimmer if you can't get a wheelbarrow up it. So the width of the path, level if you can. Whether you want raised beds is up to yourself. If your soil is good enough, why not grow in the ground, and then you didn't have the cost of a raised bed. If a kitchen garden has to be enclosed. All the old kitchen gardens were either wall gardens or if you see our one, it's got quite high fencing around it. Because we grow things to eat, a lot of things like to eat what we grow as well. So if you've got rabbits, if you've got deer around, if you've got squirrels, because you're encouraging wildlife, 2 rabbits can rampage through all your good work. Voles can eat, they're vegetarians, so they're quite happy to eat anything that you grow. So, and then there's vandalism as well, and there is the contained environment, that you're making a wee environment of its own. So it's maybe sheltered for the wind, it's the fencing. we grow a lot of things up our fencing. We use it. We've got tayberries and loganberries. We've got gooseberries on the outside. We've got, we also incorporate plants like berberis, and they act like barbed wire. All these things are jaggy and thorny, so they keep out undesirables, whether they be animal, vegetable or human pests. So I would, that's a consideration, that all allotments are usually fenced in. I'm trying to think of anything else. Take advice, take help, do your research. There's plenty of help out there on the internet. There's Garden Organic, there's Trellis, there's the Botanic Gardens. They've got an outreach scheme that do community engagement, and they're really helpful. There's the Caledonian, we call it the Cali, it's the equivalent of the RHS in Scotland. There's the internet's full of good advice, but it's full of rubbish as well. So be careful what you take off the internet. There's some good books out there if you're the old-fashioned type, and it's always good just to have a wee look. Seed catalogues, information from every source that you can get. Forth Environment Link, there's courses, there's loads of things that you can do to promote your kitchen garden.